Hey, how are you doing? Welcome to part two on a three-piece series on how to win your morning over and over and win in your body, in your inner harmony, relationships, and purpose by 8 a.m. So there is a worksheet that comes with this one as well. So you're going to want to go to thefitceo.com/57. That is 57. If you happen to be driving, then make sure you arrive to your destination safe and then go to the show notes. You'll find the link there as well. Today, we're going to work on top of the first episode on how to win your morning over and over, which is winning your purpose first. So that is the first part of this three-piece series. And if you haven't listened to it, you're going to want to go back because we talk about really starting your morning routine with the end in mind. Okay, that is your purpose in the day. And you want to have a night ritual that allows you to get organized, get clear, figuring out what are the most important tasks. There's a worksheet that goes with that one as well. So when you fill that in, and if you did do that, and you're probably going to notice that you woke up differently. You probably went to sleep with a subconscious thought, knowing that there's something waiting for you when you wake up. And you probably woke up with a lot more energy. You didn't even press the snooze button. You went ahead and were excited to start. And that is the feeling that I got when I first started really getting my night ritual together so that I could work on winning my purpose. So that is like a super cool feeling. So today we're going to now go into the part two of how to win your morning. And that is winning in your body, the self-care, and then tapping into either your peak performance. Okay. And then the last piece of it is going to be the winning in your inner harmony and relationship, which is going to be alignment. Okay. So, and then today's episode is going to build on top of that. So you want to definitely listen to them in order. If you have not listened to either or, then just make sure you listen to them all and do the worksheets. And I promise you, your morning routine is going to go from good to extraordinary. Okay. And if you don't have a morning routine, oh man, it's going to transform the way you start your day, the way you go to sleep, the way you feel, the way you think, clarity, purpose, meaning. It's all in by planting the seeds in your morning routine. Okay. So let's go into it. So I have my worksheet in front of me. So if you have yours, you're going to see the same things that I see. Okay. So the first thing is when you wake up, you're going to want to make sure that you wake up earlier than usual. Okay. So if you don't have a morning routine, you're going to want to at least have 15 minutes. I make sure that I at least have 15 minutes to take care of those important components. Okay. But in a perfect world where you have become more and more organized and structured and you have been able to open up more and more time, then you're going to want to open up from 120 minutes to 60 minutes so that you could go into I call it your sacred time. Okay. So that's what I call it. This is my sacred time. This is when no one else can take it away. You're not worrying about anybody else. You're not worrying about what is it that you're going to do. You're just waking up, being present, and you're working on tapping into your strongest self, your best self, because it is pointless for you to help anybody if you can't even help yourself. There's a reason why when you go into a flight and they're giving you instructions on like if an emergency happens and a gas mask drop, oxygen mask drop, they tell you to help yourself first and then help the person next to you after. It is the same thing. You want to be your highest self, touch into your highest state so that you could be the best version for your loved ones, for your team, for yourself and anybody that depends on you. Okay, so going into this sacred time is really just taking care of yourself, your well being, self care. Okay, so you want to make sure that you wake up in 60 minutes earlier so that you can really take care of yourself part. Okay, and then within these 60 minutes to 120 minutes, which is 2 hours, it's also gonna have you're also gonna be taking care of your inner harmony and relationships in it. So it's not only gonna be like the health part, but it's really gonna be those three other elements. Okay, so now we're touching into the beginning part of your sacred time. And the first thing is, like, when you wake up, do not press the snooze button. I had a great conversation with Bedros Keuilian, who's the creator of Fit Body Bootcamp. He just released his brand new book called Man Up, and we had an awesome conversation about pressing the snooze button. He says that when you press the snooze button, you're subconsciously telling yourself that my life is not that important to start. Therefore, I'm gonna add an additional 15 minutes to my sleeping time. So you are not starting your day by winning. So this is normally a habit that has already been gathered. It's sometimes a little challenging to break. But if you keep that in mind, that, hey, if I press the snooze button, I'm telling myself that my life is not worth living right now, then that ultimately becomes something that you carry through the day, which you don't want to start your day like that. Okay, so that is something that I actually placed in the worksheet is wake up, wake up early, 120 minutes, 60 minutes, ideally. Okay. Minimum 15 minutes. And when you do wake up, and if you happen to have an alarm, do not press the snooze button. Now let's move on to the second part. The second part is going to be getting light in your eyes. Okay, you want to turn on all the lights in the house. Ideally, you want to have natural lighting, but sometimes I like, even for myself, I wake up before the sun's out. So I like to eventually go outside and get natural sunlight because that gets me in sync with nature's clock, which is called the circadian rhythm, and that is very, very good for your internal hormones to actually reset and you work most optimal at that level. Okay, so but if you happen to be waking up and the sun's not out yet, there's no natural lighting, then just make sure to turn on all the house lights because it prevents you from going back to sleep. Okay, so you want to have some lights going into your eye because our eyeballs actually have the most mitochondria, and mitochondria just work like little solar panels. So when you have lights going into your eyes, they're little solar panels and they're actually giving you a lot of energy. So that is why light is extremely important when you wake up. Part three. Okay, so part three, this is like where you have a checklist, a worksheet guide. And here is called the self-care checklist. Okay. And the first part of the tangible and physical things that you're gonna do in your self-care, which is the beginning of your sacred time, is drinking water. Okay, you want to super hydrate. So I have done episodes on your morning routine, but this is just a recap, a review, letting you know that this really is important on the health part. And also you have a worksheet now. Now you have something to like help you get structure and organize and making sure you don't forget. Okay, so what you want to do is drink 4 to 5 cups of water within 15 minutes of waking up. When you do this, you are fueling your insides, you're waking up your intestines, and you're going to notice something. You're going to want to use the restroom right away. I call that a gut check. That is letting you know that your gut is healthy and it's good to go. So that is a great sign. Also, water is the lubricant of your body. Okay, so it is how it moves things around, and it is how it gets rid of things that it no longer needs, like waste, toxins, anything that is body fat, and things like that. So that is going to be first things first. Super hydrate. Do not drink anything else besides water the first thing in the morning. Then after, you can have your tea, you can have your coffee, then you could break your fast. But let's not get ahead. Okay, the next thing is going to be part two on the self-care checklist, and that is going to be purposeful movement. Okay, I call it purposeful movement because it is dedicated time when you're going to actually move your body with purpose so that you have mobility, you are stretching, you are elevating your heart rate. The minimum amount of time you want to allocate here, it is 15 minutes. And it doesn't have to be like you're gonna go out for a sprint and then you're gonna do some Olympian stuff. It's as simple as going outside for a walk for 15 minutes, go and then working your way to a jog. My morning routine is more like I wake up and then I go to the beach and I do a 15-minute run slash sprint, and then sometimes I'll add like some hit workouts. I'll do squats, things like that out there. That is actually just to start my day, and then sometimes, and then actually not sometimes, a lot of the times, right in the afternoon or around 3 to 4, I make sure to get a weight workout in. So I add intensity into my day. So I actually work out 2 times a day, but at minimum, work out 15 minutes because if life happens, so if something comes up late in the day, at least you put in 15 minutes and that will help you in the long run. Okay, so the way this is structured is that inside of your purposeful movement, you definitely want to add some stretching. 5 minutes of stretching, nothing crazy, just like warm up your body. I like to spend at least 5 minutes of stretching, if that is legs, if that is arms, upper, like your back, like all of it is going to help with your posture, your flexibility. Prevents you from getting hurt during the day. And then especially if you work out late in the afternoon, like myself, you go to the gym and lift heavy, it's gonna prevent any injuries from actually occurring. And then inside of your 15-minute workout, it could be from going out for jogs, for sprints. There's also some things I'm gonna read from the worksheet that to give you some ideas. You could do some hit workouts, which is high intensity interval training workouts. You could do some lift training. I used to start my day by lifting. You could do some circuits. You could do yoga, swimming, boot camp, speed walking, Pilates, whatever you want. Just make sure that you're elevating your heart rate. It is scheduled, and when it's scheduled, that means that it's intentional and you're doing it with purpose now. Okay, because you don't want to like the reason why I call it purposeful movement is because I don't want you to say, "Hey, I walk a lot at work, so that counts as exercise." No, that does not count. That's just your everyday activity. That doesn't count. You want to schedule in purposeful movement. Okay, and then the next component here is breaking your fast. You heard me talk a lot about this. A lot of the beginning episodes, I'm always talking about how you break your fast matters more than anything. I have a mentor of mine, Aubrey Marcus, says every meal is important. And I'm like, yes, that is true. But the one that weighs the heaviest, at least by like 1%, is going to be your how you break your fast. Because how you break your fast is extremely important because if you think about it, it is food that's touching the lining of your stomach for the first time in many, many hours because you've been sleeping and you haven't ate for hours already. So it is the most sensitive, and therefore it's gonna absorb it quicker, turn it into energy. So if you give yourself junk, guess what? You're gonna crash. You're gonna start off the day with junk, and also you're subconsciously setting yourself up to make different choices later in the day. So if you start off your day with the best source of nutrients, which is superfoods. When you start your day with superfoods, then that is the way that you're going to be able to utilize food and convert it into energy, and you're going to be able to build better replica cells of you. I'm taking to the molecular level, but you are definitely tapping into the highest source of nutrients and energy to start your day. And you're subconsciously telling yourself, hey, I started off the day by making healthier choices. My lunch is going to be a healthier choice. My dinner is going to be a healthier choice. Therefore, I'm not going to want to mess it up by drinking later in the day or, just doing something that's going to not support your lifestyle, right? So that is definitely setting the tone for the day when it comes to food, your energy, and how you feel through the day, right? So energy is power. Like there's a reason why we all crave coffee because you want energy. I want energy. And by tapping into the highest source, it's going to take you to that next level by breaking your fast with superfoods. So in here, I actually gave you 2 recipe guides that you could follow. One of them is called the Power of Green, and then the other one is called the Power of Red. And it is it's called the Power V Blend. So these are recipes that I created with superfoods in them. These are drinks that I give to my clients, that I personally drink myself. My favorite one, honestly, is the Power Red because it has beet. And when you drink beet, it actually, it has some components that allow you to perform at peak levels with very little oxygen because of what it does to your blood. It actually multiplies the blood cells, which carries more oxygen. And it's a really cool thing. So you'll feel the difference when you have that. And those are really the big components inside of winning your body. It is those 3 pieces, right? The checklist. So you want to make sure that you wake up early, do not press the snooze button, get some light in your eyes. Natural lighting is ideal. And then go into your self-care checklist, which we talk about: super hydrating, drinking water when you wake up, purposeful movement, which entails 5 minutes of stretching and then your at least 15-minute workout, and then how you break your fast. This is actually something that you could do the night prior by like having all your blends ready and they're waiting for you in the fridge. So you could also use a powder form. I like to think of it more as a band-aid, not as a permanent solution. So I've had people ask me like, oh, can I just have like these powder forms? Well, ultimately you want the real thing. It's like sex. You want the real thing. I mean, you could only help yourself long enough until you're gonna want the real thing. So it's the same concept. You know what I mean. Okay, so hey, that is the part 2 of the 3-piece series of how to win your morning over and over in your body, in your inner harmony, relationships, and purpose by 8 a.m. And the next episode, we're gonna talk about how to win in your relationships and inside of your inner harmony. Okay. That is going to be called the aligning of yourself, getting now ready in the inner form of you. So now we got the physical. Now let's get the inner in you at its strongest state. If you like this episode, if you appreciate it, please take a screenshot. Go ahead and upload it to your Insta story. Tag me at Jose CEO so that I could give you a shout out and I know that you are listening. And also make sure to review this episode. Let me know what was your favorite key takeaway, because when you rate us, it allows us to rank higher, it reaches more people, and it helps individuals just like you that want to be fit and prosperous by winning your day and repeating it. And the way we're doing this is by making sure that we're planting the seeds early in the day so that it prospers through the day. Therefore, you win your day, you win your year, and you ultimately live your perfect life as you envision it. Thank you so much for listening, and make sure to listen to the next episode, which you're going to win the inner harmony and relationships. Thank you for watching, and if you like this episode, then you'll definitely want to watch the training that I've created for you, how to win in your body, inner harmony, relationships, and purpose by 8 a.m. Go ahead and click here to get access to that free training now.